lot size and what kind of building you put on all depends on setbacks. I mean, if you meet the setbacks of your building on your property, that determines what you can put on it depending on your lot size, you know.
What you're looking at right now is a way to proceed with this thing.
Correct.
Okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then what you can do with it then has to be answered. That's the big question.
Correct.
Whether you can do it to these prints or they have to be altered. Again, that's part of the ZBA.
If we're not careful, we're gonna have residents showing up saying, why can't I build a house on a 67-foot lot?
Exactly.
And you know what? They're spending a ton of money here.
And it's not zone C1.
Depends where the lot is.
No, they can't. You're supposed to have a 100-foot lot.
A new lot, if you have an existing lot you can build on, it might be non-conforming, but you can build on a non-conforming lot as long as there's at least.
You can't form a new lot less than 100 and build on it.
Correct. But if you already have lots, and you got a vacant lot, you can build on it, you know, if it's already there. You can't create a new one unless it's that size.
You asked my opinion. I'm telling you my opinion. As an elected official in the community, I have a little bit of concern. And I've heard from people, and I'm actually echoing what I've heard. You know, a single building on that lot might be, you know, perfect. But
How many square feet are those?
576.
That takes up how much of the space? Like you were quartered that area. You're putting a 500 square foot building on how much parcel it is?
well, the one on the corner is large compared to.
What's that?
You got a 22-foot wide.
22 by 26.
Yep. And then there's a 24 gravel drive with 2 parkings per spot with an extra over here. So that's just that lot.
Here's a question, Scott. In the marinas master deed bylaws, does it spell out parking for how many spots a documented owner gets?
I don't know about the documented bylaws, I'd have to review it.
Are they out? I mean, they do exist, right?
Yeah, I mean, my question for Brad would, you know, and actually the group would be, you know, the type of clientele that I would envision coming to the development is gonna be a, you know, 2500 HD pickup and a 26-foot tri-tune. You know, you got 52 feet of length, and where are you gonna put them?
Right. No, we've built 30 of these that are campgrounds, right? And not everybody has a camper or a boat, right? And one of them's right in Standish.
But it's
You
Did
also
you have-
address the parking.
in
We
many
do have-
cases, it's about the acreage, you know, when you start
With the
building,
storage
you got
guy.
50, 60
Yeah,
acres.
we have
it's
a
no
storage
big deal.
agreement with Linwood Storage for $10 a day for parking, so.
I did check into the document, and there is no limit right now on parking. We can put 100 cars over there, the way the law's at right now. So that might change tomorrow, but right now, there is no speculation saying how many cars you can have it over there. And we do own one of those docks now.
Not that that's,
Pretty particular
standing alone,
lot specifications.
the zoning calls for 2 lots,
Sorry.
2 spots
Pretty
per.
particular parking lot specification.
If it was together, it'd be 2
Well,
spots.
that's why I'm asking. I mean,
And they've got that.
I'm sorry. There were 2 conversations. One is there's specific parking regulations in the manual, and Pat, you were talking. Could you repeat what you said?
I just said that the current zoning under multifamily says two spots per unit, and they've drawn that in, plus.
Is parking a factor in the process here? Is that under consideration, or is it just a matter of that we write the zoning?
Well, parking's a consideration too.
Okay,
you know.
because we do have an agreement for parking. Have somebody
I know,
come in
yeah,
to-
right.
And we meet all the requirements for the buildings, for parking.
Well, for what's being discussed tonight, that's immaterial right now.
Right, correct.
Has nothing to do with what we're doing.
So we gotta get the,
We're just trying to produce a vehicle that this thing, whole thing can get
allows this
going.
to happen. What's that?
Comfortable with that?
Yeah, multiple unattached dwellings per lot, C1, only special use, permit required.
We're gonna send that to Chrysler first, right?
Yeah. But we have to vote on doing that and what we want said in it. I mean, and it's still gotta go out to
Public comment.
public comment, I mean, it's still a 3-month deal.
Well, that's
but,
fine.
you know,
As long as-
this is what we want, and have Spicer draw up that, what we want.
We don't want them to take what's already there from multifamily and just add this part to it.
That doesn't take care of what we want. I mean,
I'm
that
sure
helps
they know that.
put on separate units, but it doesn't allow the separate buildings that we were looking at.
Well, it's gonna take them the same amount of time.
Right.
Well, it takes the same amount of
Unless
time,
it
I'd
gets
say
them
go
what's
with the
gotta
new one
have.
just for the township's purpose, that it's covered. And by definition, we've written it up. It's not just a Band-Aid add-on.
Correct. Then we got the proper classification.
So is this changing the property for a group and not the community? With this gentleman?
No, it allows all C1s to do that.
All C1?
Yeah, it's a C1 classification, it's not just a Brad Gore thing or a Mike Stazak thing. C1 is the requirement, and it's also by special use. It's not just by right, which all the other ones are.
Right.
It's still a special,
I'm just trying to understand it because,
it's not spot zoning, it's not anything else, it's not, hey, we'll meet around the corner, we'll take care of this. We're having a discussion and get all this out, and it's in C1 only. Because, and, you know, that way they.
so Pat was saying there's only 5 or 6 properties in this whole community. What I'm getting at is, I'm not gonna see this next door at the Wheelans as a multi-dwelling because of their commercial status in your master plan. That's what I'm curious.
What are they zoned now?
Well, it shows residential, but in your future land use, it shows commercial.
Okay, well, as you know,
Commercial highway.
future land use isn't today. I'm asking, what are they
Well,
zoned?
it was, my family is zoned the Wheelan property as C3.
Okay, what is it zoned now?
His is residential.
Okay, just R1?
Yeah, but there's no
Okay.
document proving it.
Proving what, that it's R1?
Yeah.
What was it before then?
My grandfather zoned it as C3,
Okay, fine, that's what all right.
but it's not that now.
You know,
But that's what I'm getting at, is how this came to be. Are you making moves with law? Because I'd like some of the same treatment. I mean, this just seems like.
Do you wanna put units like that up on your property?
I'd like to make my property conforming to your master plans and your ordinances.
So
I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at.
The master plan,
If we're gonna change one person's,
we're not changing anything. The master plan,
you guys are changing the zoning ordinance right now.
We're
Is that correct?
changing the zoning ordinance.
don't
No,
think
we're not
so.
changing an ordinance, we're adding another classification to it.
it's a, no, no, it's a
change.
special use classification,
special
so it
use
still
only.
has to come before the board here to get the special use approved. So it's not,
We're just
Changing
allowing a different
anything.
type of construction to go on a lot.
and that has to be approved. So no different than any other special use in here. If you wanna do a daycare, you gotta get a special use. You wanna put up a motel, you gotta get a special use. You wanna
You
put
want
up,
a junkyard?
I think that's in there, yes.
Well, we've been here since
I mean,
'63, so.
I can't,
This
I'll
is
like.
what I'm getting at, is it's just like preferential treatment.
No, if you were zone C1, all right, and we rewrote this, well, not wrote it, but added to the special use. If you wanted to come in and say, I wanna put up resort cabins on this property, and I wanna put up 12 of them, okay?
As long as you got the lot size.
You would come in and you would say, here's what I have, I wanna apply for this special use to put up these resort cabins, and then you go through the process and it's a yes or a no.
I'd like to read it that way.
Oh, wow, it's, I don't know of any other way to read it. I mean, personally, it's, in this case, it's either a C1 or it's not a C1.
I've just heard there's a lot of spite, so that's why I'm
Yes,
excited.
you covered
Wow.
lots.
I read it as it's either a C1 or it's not a C1, and it's either a special use or it's not a special use. And if it meets the special use criteria, then it's a special use. I mean, you can't okay it here and not okay it over here.
Correct. I agree,
As
that's
far
why
as
I
I'm
was
concerned.
asking how many lots, when Pat said there was 6 lots, how many do they own?
They're looking, right now, they're looking at one lot, 4 dwellings on it, if I'm not mistaken. They're looking at one lot, 4
Yes.
dwellings.
Correct, there's total 3 lots of it.
3 lots.
3 lots, but.
But right now, we're just looking at, so,
We have to
and
have.
as long as they reach, as long as they are C1, as long as they meet
So I can-
special use, and as long as they meet the other requirements for setbacks,
Yes or no?
No, because you get special use.
But being commercial.
Do you have anything else, Charlie?
I just have a question, so.
Sure.
So this specific modification is to
Addition.
additional language. Is to C1, commercial property, 1.
Neighborhood commercial property is called.
C1's neighborhood commercial.
Neighborhood commercial district C1.
You could put in a hotel or motel on that. On that property right now.
Well, it'd be hard to put it in 67 foot, wouldn't it?
Okay, we're not just talking,
still
we're not
legal.
just talking about one lot, though, Charlie, we're talking about a classification of stuff to do it, okay? And like I said, the setbacks will dictate the size of the buildings he put on there.
Cut and dry, pretty much.
I mean,
It would have to.
we could debate this for 12 days and it's still not gonna change. I mean, that's the point we're trying to make with this.
Because of the setbacks, you're not gonna put a 10 by 10 building on there.
So just a question, so if you had, say, 40 acres, the way that you're changing this language, there would be no limit on the number of dwellings or structures that could be put on it, correct? So if you have the acreage for it and you meet the setbacks,
And
you
wanna
can
make
have
a tiny house
60,000 of them if you have the acreage for it, as long as you're C1 and it's okay by you guys, well, it goes through the process, right?
Correct, I mean, if you got the space, you know.
Do we wanna leave it that wide
Comply
open?
with the ordinance.
I mean,
That's why
honestly.
it's by special use and per case, you know.
But then special use has to meet a whole list of criteria. So if you start checking it off and it says all, so once you don't check one of them off, that throws out the special use, and that's listed black and white right here. So you, and they're pretty clear. I mean, there's not a lot of room for interpretation of them. So I'm going down the list and I'm saying, nope. Stop. Can't do it. Now you check them all off, then you go to the next page and say, okay, now here's our definition. Does it meet the definition? Yes. Then you go, is it gonna meet the lot size? Is it gonna meet the setbacks? And go from there, and if it's yes, you know, it's not up to me to say that's good or bad.
And you already have that right now with the campground, right? Which is a big asset to the community, I would say.
Right.
They could build 50 cabins there tomorrow if they wanted to. There's nothing that stops
So
them.
campgrounds are the same way.
You know,
How
and-
many of those? You got a amount of space, you can put as many trailers in there as you want, you know.
And I know from experience, they run a pretty tight ship over there. You know,
But you're right, they could,
you know,
theoretically, they could put the same resort area, same cabin, same thing, as long as they
Yeah.
met everything that was.
I mean, you already got one. How many complaints do you get from it? Is there a lot of complaints from the neighbors or anything about the campground?
I've never heard any.
Traffic, no traffic?
So if you had another one tomorrow in a different part of the, you know, what would, you know, you already got a model one over there. Nobody's here complaining.
Probably have better luck there than you do State Park.
Well, I think having that campground there is a big asset to a marina if you're a boat owner. But perfect world, right?
Or just families. I mean,
Alright, so then we have the next step, send it to Spicer, have Spicer do the wording, send it
Yep.
back to us.
Yep,
We
we're gonna
look
make,
at it, we like it or not.
yes,
Put it out to the
we have to
public.
make a motion to have this classification done, Spicer will write it up, and then we'll, we'll publish it from there. Is that good with you?
Yeah, it's good with me.
Read what you got.
Alright,
All
so,
it's rolling.
We don't.
to allow, I'm sorry, you say something else?
I was gonna read what's on this paper since it's gonna be attached to the minutes.
You know what paper? No, okay, well, okay, first of all,
No
that's
problem.
coming in, I wanna get this one done before it gets back in the mud again, so. Is to allow multiple unattached dwellings per lot in C1 use only, and, it has to be by special use permit. Or it's under the special use permit, under C1 classifications.
Variance. Right? Variance.
Yeah. And I'd like to do this in two different things so we don't get this messed up, so. Then we'll do the definitions that Spicer sent us for the other stuff. So I'd like to make a motion that we do this, we'll send it out to Spicers, have them write it up, properly notify everything. And, I make the motion to do that.
Second.
Pat, support? And roll call vote.
Rick,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes?
Charles, yes.
And then the other one, they just wanted to update a definition.
Charlie?
No.
I thought you did.
No, you didn't call Pat's name.
Well, Pat,
That's okay.
no,
Come on, Pat, you got
I
it.
already gave you a yes.
And then, we just want to add to a definition that multifamily dwelling units do include both attached and unattached units by the definition that Spicer sent us. Need to, yeah, just make changes to definitions as per Spicer's email dated,
Or should they come up with their own definition separate from
Definition
that one?
per Spicer.
I think they should come up with a definition separate from that one.
what's that?
From that multifamily.
And
Oh, yeah,
those making
no.
these motions are gonna give me the exact wording, correct? So, Rick, you made the motion? Second?
I'll second.
Don? Charles, yes. Pat?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
And Rick?
Yes. Alrighty. Correspondence, we don't have any. Board meeting report, we don't have that. We don't have, any report from the zoning administrator. Planning consultant, we've already done their stuff. Any other public comment before we?
So once the rewording is done, then what,
Pardon?
once the Spicer's does the rewording?
Goes back out to, it goes to public comment, they'll have to come back in for like any other changes we make, before it gets totally approved and sent to the board. And then the board also has the option of changing whatever we have, so.
Giving a member of the board,
Okay.
trustees a copy of what I
Gotcha.
gave you, and a member of the public.
So that's under correspondence.
That's under correspondences, and please add that to the minutes. We're at 1890 South Huron Road, and I would like you guys to contemplate bringing C3 back and talking with Spicer or the board, I mean, I see you guys are making some for somebody else. When you see this, I hope your hearts realize what Buck Holland Township took from my wife's family and my family. So that's illegal to take. So how the past board got away with it? In 2002, there was a person by the name of Brian Wheeland on the board. That's when all those properties changed on the planning commission. So please review that. And Don, I didn't make copies for you, but I know we talked with my wife in the past about the property, and I'd really like you to take all of that into consideration. I mean, C3 must have meant something to her dad, her grandmother, and then my grandfather, who made these before this master plan came into effect in 2002. There was a lot of different laws, and laws got structured around putting hardships, whether it be hardships on families like this, families like this, it don't really matter. If somebody's directed for hardships, it's not good, and the rules should apply to all. You know, in that, you shouldn't just point people out. I mean, I don't care who it is. There should be a fair argument, and I think all of you, for both sides listening, I think you guys did a good job as a board for listening to constituents, and I truly mean that from both sides. So, thank you.
Anybody else? Next meeting is June 8th, and it's 8:42. Motion to adjourn.
Second.